This is a TortureCast series recap, a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants.
We are die-hard Giants fans. We listen to the TortureCast scream, "Let's go Giants" with me. We are proud to be from the city. Scream, "Let's go Giants" with me. We are proud to be from the city.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the TortureCast, another series recap. This will be our fourth one, and we're going to provide this recap for all the series that we don't directly podcast after. So that's going to probably average out to about 2 recordings a week. We'll do a podcast, we'll do a series recap. We actually joked about if the Giants keep losing these series, we're going to call them series kneecaps, because that's kind of what it feels like lately. But alas, good news in Washington. They did take 2 out of 3, so we're going to be talking about that here right now. So the Orange and Black arrived in D.C. with an 8-12 record, certainly laboring through an offensive drought where they were just averaging 3.05 runs per game. A series win against the Nationals wasn't just a goal, it was a strategy necessary to keep the season from sliding away before May. I mean, the Dodgers are just so far ahead at this point. The West is already becoming an insurmountable kind of issue right now because the Dodgers are just not your average ordinary team. But we got exactly what we needed, a 2-1 series victory. But man, that was quite the emotional arc of this set. And it was something else. We saw a cathartic 10-run explosion on Friday night. That was something to behold. And then, of course, surviving that 12-inning nail-biter on Saturday, in which they kind of gave the game away in the 9th. But they got it back in the 12th. So, and then they hit the wall today here on Sunday and got shut out in D.C. So, unfortunately, could not complete the sweep, but let's break it all down and how it started on a warm Friday evening at Nationals Park. It did really feel like a long-awaited exhale. After weeks of really offensive stagnation, the Bats finally found the rhythm in a 10-5 victory. They produced a season-high 10 runs, and every single member of the starting lineup recorded a hit. So this was something that we've been waiting to see. And the story of the night was Elliot Ramos. Entering the game, Ramos was in the middle of a frustrating stretch. He was hitting just .231 with 24 strikeouts. However, in the second inning, he unleashed a 416-foot frozen rope, 3-run home run to dead center. And that was a shot, man, if you saw it. The blast snapped a 65 at-bat homerless drought to start the season. And it really did look like the spark he needed. Manager Tony Vitello kind of said it best post-game, quote, or it looked like the Ramos that the Giants fell in love with. The first one is out of the way. That means more will follow. And he was right. Obviously, he had another one later in the series. On the bump, Logan Webb ground out the win, but he really, again, did not have his elite command. He threw 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 6. He got the win, but really, he's his own harshest critic, admitting that he felt that he was, quote, hurting the team despite the 10-run support. So he definitely was not caned, and he got the win despite that kind of the poor performance. He had a 32-pitch third inning following a defensive miscue by Devers at first base. And so that was kind of frustrating. But also, rookie Daniel Susac got the start over Patrick Bailey, and he looked every bit the part, going 2 for 5 with a double. And at the end of that game, he was currently batting, or at the time, batting .524 through 9 games. And certainly Bailey is the defensive anchor, but Vitello might be starting to ride the hot hand. And with Susac's production, it's kind of hard to blame him. So it was a comfortable win, but Saturday was about to turn into a total street fight in game number 2. So the 12-inning, match was definitely the most gritty victory, I would say, of this young season. As Eric pointed out in our last podcast, they haven't really come back from any deficit this year except for 1 run in the first inning or something like that. So they haven't really put together any of those type of victories, but they did. They came back in this one. Vitello described the atmosphere as March Madness, and he wasn't kidding. This was kind of one of the more intense games they've played early in this season. The comeback began after the Giants fell into an early 5-1 hole. And honestly, I was sitting there thinking, okay, they're going to lose this one. We're going to go for the rubber game on Sunday. But that, in part, was fueled by a fielding error by Willie Adames, who did not have a great series. But Elliot Ramos continued his tear, launching his second home run in as many days to tie the game in the sixth. And the Heroics eventually fell to Matt Chapman, who lined the go-ahead single in the top of the 12th to finally put the Giants on top for good. The bullpen was a complete roller coaster. Even though overall the bullpen was very good this series, Ryan Walker, who started as the closer, but not really the named closer. He just kind of pitched the ninth inning in a safe situation before. Then he was pitching in like the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. He was put in the ninth with a one-run lead, and he suffered a blown save on a bloop single. But you know what? He locked it down and escaped a bases-loaded no-out jam in the 10th, which, I mean, that's it. You thought that was going to be it. Also, Matt Chapman threw out a runner at home plate in the ninth, even though they ended up scoring to tie the game after that. So, honestly, the Giants could have lost four different times in the ninth and the 10th innings. So, but a massive part of that escape was Willie Adames' savvy defensive play. On a grounder up the middle that deflected off Walker's glove, Adames realized that the runner, Jacob Young, was hauling to second and too fast for a force out. So he kept his cool, pivoted, and fired to first to get the out that they needed to preserve the tie. We also have to celebrate Caleb Killian. He earned his first career win in his 18th big league appearance. He threw 2 scoreless innings, and after the game joked that his long overdue beer shower was finally behind him. Again, game wasn't pretty, but a win is a win in the books, no matter how you do it. In the game 3 today, unfortunately, it cooled off, and I was really looking forward to it because I thought maybe this offensive momentum, scoring 17 runs in the first 2 games, was going to spill over to today, especially with Robbie Ray pitching. I figured the Giants had a really good shot at getting the sweep and to come within 2 games of 500, but it was not meant to be. In fact, they lost 3-0. A little bit of a hard luck loss, if you will. Ray was definitely painting corners all afternoon, but he had one main mistake, and that was a 2-run homer to Curtis Mead. So, what are you going to do as a pitcher when your team doesn't put up any runs? So he allowed 7 hits in 6 innings, 3 earned runs, struck out 7, only walked 1, but his season ERA still sits at 2.86. Him and Landon Roop are clearly the 2 best starters right now, especially considering Webb's at a 5.40 still. It's very, very frustrating. But really, the offensive failure today was hitting with runners in scoring position. They had 8 hits today, but they were 0 for 11. 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and they left 10 runners stranded on base. So, if you go 2 for 11, you might score 2 or 3 runs, and you're thinking it's a tie game. But, 3 for 11, something even a little bit better, still not even hitting 300. They might win the game, but it is what it is. Willie Adames went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, and Luis Ariz went 0 for 4. So unfortunately, today was kind of a womp, and they get out of Washington at least with 2 wins. So now the Giants sit at 4 games under 500 at 9-13. They are a full 7 games back of the Dodgers, 4.5 back in the wild card. And the aforementioned Dodgers are coming to town to start a 3-game series on Tuesday. So they do have an off day tomorrow. So they're traveling right now back to the Bay Area. So tomorrow will be a nice off day back by the Bay. Unfortunately, the Dodgers are playing very well right now. They only have 5 losses on the year. They have the best record in the major leagues, which is not unexpected. And so I mentioned this last podcast. Honestly, if the Giants take 1 out of 3, I'm happy. I know that sounds really pessimistic, but that's kind of the level that they're at right now. And so if the Giants can somehow squeeze 2 out of 3, that would just be a miracle. That would be like sweeping. That'd be like a 4-game sweep of another team. And again, the reality is they're not going to catch the Dodgers in the West, but they cannot fall too far behind in the wild card. At 4 games under 500, if they get swept by the Dodgers, they're suddenly at a season high 7 games under 500. They just can't afford to do that. So the offensive MVPs of the National Series really are Matt Chapman, who was 6 for 15 with 4 ribbies. That's a 400 batting average. Elliot Ramos, who hit 2 bombs, 6 RBI, hit 385. Casey Schmidt also had the 4th homer of the Giants series. He hit 333. And Drew Gilbert actually was 5 for 12 with a homer and 2 RBIs. He hit 417 for the series. The bullpen was good, allowing 2 earned runs and 11 1/3. The blown save, of course, was when it got real ugly, but hey, the Giants didn't lose that game. So Logan Webb, 6 innings, 4 earned runs. Ray, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. And then in that that stinker that they still won, Adrian Hauser wasn't great either. He allowed 4 earned runs, 7 hits in 5 2/3. So really, the starting pitching this series was not good, and yet they still squeezed 2 out of 3 out of the Nationals. So Nationals, I'd say, are about on par for where the Giants are, maybe a little bit worse in terms of predicted runs and record and everything else this year, but that's where the Giants are. I mean, until they prove otherwise, they have not been the team that we thought they were going to be. All right, well, that's going to do it for the Washington Nationals series recap. This is TortureCast. You can follow us individually at ChadK21 for myself, at 2OutHits. For Eric, that's the number 2. In fact, Eric does have the next series recap, which will be, I believe, the Miami Marlins next weekend. So you can follow us at TortureCast, like us on Facebook, go to torturecast.com where you can find everything. Shoot us an email at torturecast@gmail.com. So for the other 2 boys, this is Chad signing off for the series recap number 4 against the Nationals. We'll see you Thursday after they play the Dodgers. Boom.
Embarcadero, a tall can and a glove, on our way to the very best place to cheer on the team we love. The San Francisco Giants play today, so pack a bag, everybody say hey. A splash hit into the bay, hey, win or lose, gonna see our boys play. This could be our year, the year we finally win it all. Can't beat LA in full Giants gear. When we win, we sing Tony Bennett's song. The San Francisco Giants play today, so pack a bag, everybody say hey. A splash hit into the bay, win or lose, gonna see our boys play. We are die-hard Giants fans. We listen to the TortureCast scream, let's go Giants with me. We are proud to be from the city. Yeah, scream, let's go Giants with me. We are proud to be from the city.